Amir Edwards is the show so far in the D2 state championship game with 2 touchdowns as Toledo Central Catholic leads 14-0 at halftime against the defending D2 state champions Trotwood-Madison. The Rams yet to get on the scoreboard, an offense that has not been silenced very often this season as we are trying to crown our 3rd state champion of the day. Hi everyone, welcome to the Hyundai Studios. I'm Dave Chudowsky. This is the Wayside Halftime Report. Ryan Cavanaugh, Coach Bill Powers joining me as they have all day long. Guys, it's been a fun ride today and we only have one half of football left. Are you surprised that Trotwood-Madison coach has not been able to find the end zone yet?
I'm not totally surprised. The one thing I'm kind of surprised is that they've never been treated so rudely before. They're not used to being smacked in the mouth. They're used to smacking teams in the mouth. And I think they're having a hard time adjusting that. That's got to be something they got to adjust in the second half.
Ryan, watching the first half, what's been the biggest key for you?
Well, I think what stands out is that Toledo Central Catholic has more speed than Trotwood-Madison. Usually Trotwood-Madison has that advantage, but especially defensively, Toledo Central Catholic is flying around. They're getting many hats to the football, where Trotwood-Madison almost looks lackadaisical defensively. They need to pick up the team speed, both defensively as well as offensively.
All right, let's take a look at the highlights. The first 2 games, we had a lot of highlights. At least in the first game, the second half delivered a lot of highlights. The second game, we had a boatload of highlights, but in this first half, we only have had 2 touchdowns, and both coming from Central Catholic. First game under the lights, and Amir Edwards shines as he scores. That's the first play of the second quarter, the 3-yard touchdown run to make it 7-0.
Yeah, phenomenal cut by him. He saw the alley, he didn't hesitate, and he put his head right up in there.
And then just before the break, with about 36 seconds left, he is in again, this time from 8 yards to make it 14-0, Ryan.
That's the Trotwood defense there kind of illustrated my point. Broken tackles. There's only one guy making contact with Amir Edwards at the 8-yard line and in. They need to start pressuring the line of scrimmage.
Coach, and I've done this all day to you because if you haven't been around at all today and you don't know this, I'm sure you do, Coach has won a state championship. So you've been in this kind of battle. You have coached many a game. What right now is Trotwood-Madison saying in that locker room? Because that's the locker room I would want to be in right now, the one that's down 14-0.
Yeah, the biggest thing you got to do is don't panic. You've been here before, you've won a championship before, you've won a lot of games before. You got to just do what you do, and like Ryan said, you got to tighten up your game a little bit, okay? Pick up your speed, pick up your intensity. You know, we were commenting in the first half on how we were surprised how it wasn't their usual flying around to the ball like we're used to seeing. Just do what you do.
All right, let's take a closer look now at Amir Edwards, and we saw the 2 touchdowns, but it's not just the 2 touchdowns. This is a guy that can carry a team, and he really has been doing that for Central Catholic.
Yeah, we talked about him in the pregame, what a special player he is. Look how hard he runs. He's 195 pounds, but look at that forward lean he has. He's delivering blows to the Trotwood guys. He's always going for, look at that cut right there. Playing with that left foot, shot up through the alley, 6 points. He's very impressive tonight, and I'm telling you right now, they need to stop him in the second half to have any chance of winning this ball game.
Ryan, how about the average there? 5.6 a carry? I mean, that works, man. If you have your running back getting that kind of average per carry, you're going to win a football game.
You know, it is surprising to me, and Amir Edwards, he's the one whose name is going to be in the newspaper tomorrow. He's the one whose highlights we're watching and we're talking about him, but it's the offensive line up front. They are moving people for Trotwood-Madison, and on so many of those carries, Amir Edwards is not getting touched until 2 or 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. That's what makes a run game so effective. The big boys up front moving defenders.
That's a good point. Give credit to the Hogs. I mean, a lot of times the offensive line doesn't get the credit, but simply it can be that.
And that's the smacking in the mouth I'm talking about. That offensive line of Central Catholic is really taking it to the defensive front of Trotwood-Madison, and they're not used to taking that. They got to come back in the second half and react the way that they've known how to do in the past. Otherwise, it's going to be a long night for them.
The Rams do have a guy, though, that has shown some flashes, Ryan, and that's Ryan Reese. He's come in there and had some nice plays in the first half, but obviously not enough. But still, if he can get this defensive line going and get this defensive unit going, they could maybe get back in this thing.
Yeah, here's Reese, 5 yards in the backfield creating havoc. He's the 308-pound junior nose tackle. Here he is again at the goal line making another big play. What Trotwood-Madison needs to do in the second half, and they need to follow the lead of Ryan Reese, is control the line of scrimmage. They have to take the offensive line of Toledo Central Catholic out of the game. You need to move the line of scrimmage backwards instead of having it move forwards, and that's how you stop Amir Edwards.
And that's what John Perrin is doing for Toledo Central Catholic. If you watch the tape, he's getting double teamed on every single play, and that's freeing up Chris Green, the middle linebacker, number 45, who is just beasting all over the field tonight because he's got his big bodyguard in front of him.
Okay, the defending champs are on the ropes right now, down 14-zip after the first half of football. They're going to have to make a big comeback here if they want to be crowned the champions for the second straight time. Central Catholic looking for its second state champion. You know who that is? It's Mr. Football. Mitch Trubisky. I mean, the guy is a stud, and we're going to talk to him right after this timeout. We're going to dive in and talk about being Mr. Football and his future at North Carolina. That's coming up right after this timeout on the Wayside Halftime Show.